Of course, as you just mentioned, the shooting has prompted calls for an independent investigation as to how police respond to calls involving mental health. According to the Sheriff's Department, once deputies arrived, before going inside, they were met at the front gate by Isaias' sister, Yadira, and a crisis counselor, who again warned them of the situation and of the young man's agitation. From here, we see the deputies enter the house, attempt to take him into custody. He lunges toward them before everything goes sideways.
He's wearing a gray shirt, gray
Deputies say Isaias managed to partially dislodge one deputy's gun from its holster. They say the cop did push his gun back completely into the holster. If so, then why did the second deputy fire his gun? Also, the Sheriff's Department insists that when the 140-pound Cervantes started to get physical, both body cameras fell off the officers' uniforms to the floor. And the family and their attorneys are asking for answers.
He crashes to the ground. We know that from witnesses. Stomach first. Physically impossible for him in that position, with one officer on his left side with an arm around his neck and another officer on his right hand side, screaming about something that appears to me to be not supported by the evidence.
Cervantes remains in the hospital. He is paralyzed, and he also has an infection. As for the Sheriff's Department, I did reach out to them. They did not want to speak to us on camera, but you're about to see a prepared statement in part that they released to us. It says, homicide investigators are continuing the investigation, and the case will ultimately be submitted to the Justice System Integrity Division for review and to determine the legality of that shooting. Alex Amarla?
Laura, I have two questions. His paralysis, is that permanent? Do we know that just yet? And what about the response from the community?
Well, the response from the community has been very strong. In fact, when I was covering the story a couple of weeks ago, there were about 150 people out front there of the sheriff's headquarters, and they had come from all over the state. They were the parents, the advocates of people who have disabilities, mental health, physical impairment like that. And they feel that it's a watershed case to really shine a light on how difficult it is when you get into these situations, that the officers would require very specialized training, was what I heard from all of them. In terms of the paralysis, it's my understanding that it is permanent, but I was told that by one of the attorneys. I have not spoken to a physician, so I want to make sure that I give those parameters when I give that information to you here this afternoon. Alex Amarla?
Okay, Laura, thank you so much.